Yeah, we know.
Okay, you guys all set?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're all set, you just let me know when to.
You're good.
So do you want a quick summary of what we did and then go from there?
If you could spell your first and last name too.
First and last?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's a I'll tell you that. It's a joke. There's a joke behind
All
this.
right, okay.
So, good afternoon. My name is Scott Duffy, Rockland Fire Chief. That's SCOTT DUFFEY. So just a little after 8:30 this morning, we received a call for a reported building fire at 77 Division Street in Rockland with people trapped on the 3rd floor. We arrived on scene to find light smoke showing from a 3-story wood frame house, multi-family, approximately 50 by 70 feet. Upon our arrival, a window flew open on the 3rd floor and a female victim started waving with smoke billowing from behind her. Initial arriving ladder company and engine company, along with our ambulance, deployed a ground ladder through to the 3rd floor and was able to rescue that victim over the ladder. And there's actually some video of that, of her coming down the ladder with firefighters Richard Furlong Jr. and Daniel Rice. The interior crews, the engine company stretched a 2-inch line up to the 3rd floor. As they were making entry into the 3rd floor unit, they found another female right at the door. It appeared she had been looking for the door and may have been having difficulty doing so with the smoke. They assisted her out the door and down the stairs to safety. Both victims were female in their late teens. They were brought over to the Rockland ambulance, evaluated, and transported to the South Shore Hospital for further evaluation for possible smoke inhalation. Last I heard is that they are still being treated at the South Shore Hospital. Fire was knocked down rather quickly, 20 minutes to half an hour after that. It was contained to the kitchen area of the 3rd floor unit. And right now, while we are still conducting the investigation, it appears that the fire is going to be ruled accidental. Any questions?
I guess when you first arrived there on scene, can you describe again that woman in the window? So that window's up pretty high. Was she already out of the window? Or?
So the window was closed. When I arrived, she had opened it and started leaning out frantically, calling for help. Something I hadn't seen before. It was pretty scary to see. You know, worrying that she may fall or, you know, God forbid, jump. So
Were the teens alone?
they were alone in the house. There was no other occupants of the 3 units in the house at the time of the fire.
And the door where they found her, the second teenager, she was by the door. Was she was up and alert?
I think that's a question for Captain Heaney, who was right there and was able to.
She was further in the room as we came to the top of the stairs. We forced the door at the top of the stairs that entered into the apartment. We then had to crawl around to the other apartment door. I was banging on the door as I heard her on the other side, and we opened that door. And she basically found me more than I found her. We kind of bumped into each other. I assisted her to the top of the stairs, passed her to Firefighter Hickey down the stairs. We passed her to a third firefighter on the way down.
Can you describe what it was like up there, the smoke and sort of the intensity of it all? Because you knew someone was up there.
Yeah, we knew somebody was up there. There was actually some confusion whether there was 1 victim or 2 victims. In the smoke, the visibility was near 0 visibility. I could see probably like a foot off the floor. Like when I actually saw her, she was basically running and bumped into me by the time I saw her. And then she did a great job staying calm to help us help her to get to the top of the stairs and assist her down the stairs.
Listen.
I know you guys used a ground ladder. Why is that? I mean, we see you have a ladder here. What ended up happening with the rescue?
So, maybe a better answer to that would be Firefighter Furlong and Firefighter Rice. I do know that it's a lot quicker to throw a ground ladder than the aerial ladder, and that would be my guess, but I'll let them answer.
And say your name and spell it, if you don't mind.
Richard Furlong, F-U-R-L-O-N-G, Jr.
Describe what was your role in this?
I was driving the ladder truck, so as I pulled up, she was in the road getting dressed and point the third floor. I saw 2 power lines over each side of the building. Figured I had good enough shot to get the ladder off to go to the 3rd floor. And there was trees in the front yard that blocked one of the power lines coming from that house going across. So I realized I couldn't use the stick on the truck. So I just grabbed the ground ladder, and luckily Dan came up off the ambulance and helped me throw it up. And at that point there was 2 of them up I could see in the window. And then the second one went to Captain Heaney, and we got the other one out over the ladder.
And that's gotta be a little bit scary even for you guys, and I mean, I would imagine for her too, using it, that window's really high. I mean,
Oh yeah, making sure I had enough of a ground ladder to reach her and then come up short, that would have been embarrassment. Her eyes were, she was like, oh, that's a long way down. But she came slow, and luckily it all worked out.
What were you saying to her on her way down?
Nothing, just nice and slow, take it easy. She was looking down, she had sandals on, they fell off, but we got them back on and got her over in the ambulance because obviously it was raining and cold, and trying to get her warm and calm down.
What's it like to know you guys, ask the same question too, what's it like to be able to save these 2 young girls' lives?
That was good. I'm glad it wasn't 10 minutes later, or the conditions were worse. I'm just glad everything worked out the way that you hope to.
Who else was?
Dan Rice.
Can you step to the mic? And spell your first and last name?
Daniel Rice, D-A-N-I-E-L, last name Rice, R-I-C-E.
Describe your role in all this.
So I was assigned to the ambulance this morning. I got off on scene. I went to do my normal duties of making the hydrant, make sure that the fire engine got water, additional water, in addition to the water that comes with the truck. I noticed RT carrying the ladder by himself, so I immediately went to assist him.
And what was that like as she was coming down the ladder?
Something I've never experienced before, but Rich did a great job, kept her calm, got her on the ladder. She did a great job getting down the ladder.
Obviously you guys trained for this, but like when you said this is your first time actually experiencing that. Now that you've done that, and hero, I know you guys probably don't like to be called that, but what's that feeling like, knowing all that training finally comes into reality?
It's why we do it every day. It just made it that much easier training when it actually happens, when you actually have to do it.
It wasn't a really big fire, but even a fairly sized fire could be deadly. A lot of smoke or something.
Yes. For the smoke condition that we had this morning, it was a relatively small fire that was contained to the kitchen. One of the interesting things was that it was contained under a countertop, and during the initial phases of the fire, it got so hot that it melted one of the joints on a plumbing fixture, causing the water to spray, and actually acted like a sprinkler system. So it held the fire in check, and actually that's a great thing because it could have been much worse of an outcome.
Why couldn't they get out just on their own? Because there's so much smoke so quickly.
I think it was just so much smoke so quickly, and fear. I didn't get a chance to talk to them and ask them that specific question. So.
Can I just ask, one of the firefighters who went up the ladder, what was it like? I mean, did you have to do any talking to her to get her? Because I'd imagine there's a moment where she's like swinging her leg out the window.
Yeah,
Did you have to convince her?
She originally didn't want to come, so I had to tell her to go out over here, and then I didn't know that the captain was on the other side of the other one. So she came out, and I was like, all right, let's go. So I was there trying to, put my arms on her and tell her, just come down nice and easy, you'll be all right. And once she got over that fear and started coming down, she came right down.
How high up was it?
About 25, 30 feet, 24 feet.
And how long is the ladder? The ladder.
It was a 24-foot ladder.
So it was.
It was there. Yeah.
She's 6 feet.
What was the feeling like when you were on the grounds and you realized that everyone was okay?
It was a good feeling. Send her over to the ambulance, and there was only 6 of us. It's what's next. That's done. Move on.
What'd they say to you, the girls? What did the team say to you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nope.
Probably still paranoid, right?
Oh yeah, they were scared, shaking. So
Yeah.
I just made sure they got over to the ambulance, get warm. Somebody was over there to stay with them, and then we moved on.
And I just think at your reaction, connection to, can you step one more time? And can you spell your first and last name?
Tom, T-O-M, H-E-A-N-E-Y.
Say it.
Heaney, H-E-A-N-E-Y. The woman that we rescued from the third floor actually was really concerned about her friend. As soon as I passed her to Firefighter Hickey, she said, "Don't leave my friend, please don't leave my friend." So we went back into the apartment, and that's where there was a little confusion. It seemed when the ladder got thrown, the girl went to the window. When she heard my voice, she came back to me and then decided to go out the window. So that's why I guess she disappeared from the window, is what happened on the outside. So there was some confusion at that point. I mean, she made the right choice going to the window. But yeah, so her friend was really concerned for her safety.
And what's it like for you to be able to save these lives?
It's great. Why we do it every day. Just like Dan T said, this is why we train. This is why we do stuff. When you have full staffing, 6 guys showing up, you know, the ladder going up right behind the hose line being advanced to the scene of the fire is the way it should be. So it was great to see it all come together.
Can we just ask you a little bit about the house? How many apartments are inside there? It looks like there are quite a few people living there.
So it was a 3-unit apartment apartment house. So yeah, three units. Unsure on the number of occupants for each because floors 1 and 2, nobody was home, and then there were only 2 of the 4 on the 3rd floor.
Okay. And also, it looked like there were a number of animals. Were they rescued, or did they?
So there were numerous animals that were on the 2nd floor. There was a bird rescued. There was a parakeet rescued from the 3rd floor, brought down to the 2nd floor. All the animals were taken by the animal control officer, the Rockland animal control officer, to safety. And I'm not too sure where he brought them.
The building's not total loss, right?
The building's on a total loss, but the building commissioner has deemed it uninhabitable until some code violations can get repaired and services, electrical, heat, and the gas restored to the building. We had the gas and utilities shut off.
They have working smoke detectors and fire.
So yes and no. There were some detectors that were missing from where they should have been. You could see where they were, and then others that were working. The 3rd floor did have a working smoke detector. You could hear it, or I could hear it over the radio when the captain was upstairs.
So did the girls call 911, or how did?
They did. So we have our 911 through the Holbrook Regional Emergency Communication Center. They stayed on the phone with her until the ladder was placed up at that window. They stayed right on the ladder with her.
What caused the fire, do you think?
Right now, it's still under investigation, but we're ruling it accidental at this time.
Kitchen fire, though?
It did start originating in the kitchen, yes.
But not like a stovetop. You're saying that?
No, it did not. It was in a cabinet area.
So maybe something electrical, or?
We're not sure. We're still investigating it. We have some ideas, but we need to interview the residents.
I'm proud of you, your team.
I'm ecstatic for them. Like they said, this is what you train for. This is what they train for. I'm just fortunate enough to have a great department. You know, from top down to the most senior member to the most junior member. I would put my department up against any other in the area, and today proves why.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
You guys just stand there for a little bit? Do a walkway.
Need the red
Hold
numbers up as well.
So, yeah, thank you.
So had you ever used the ground ladder before? Like, how often does that happen? It's rare.
No, that was pulling up on scene. You know, you've never seen anybody hanging out a window calling for help. I mean, it was just as new to me as it was for these guys. And I mean, we use ground ladders at every fire, but to rescue somebody, that's the first that I know of in a while.
Good job. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys very much.
Quick question. I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. This is a perfect opportunity to get some fire safety messages out there. There's one thing
Yes, sir.
He's out fire safety.
as much as I really can't stand this.
No, it's fine.
Step up, step up.
Holiday season, we should talk about that.
Absolutely, step up.
Thanks, Leo.
Holiday season. Can you say your first and last name?
Sure. Scott Margolis, SCOTTMARGOLIS.
I'm sorry, can you say that again one more time?
Scott Margolis, SCOTTMARGOLIS. Firefighter, Medicare. I'm also the public fire life safety educator for the department, so I go out to all the pub ed stuff. Times like this, it's a great educational opportunity. You know, stressing the importance of working smoke alarms, having 2 ways out, and keeping 2 ways out, not blocking your secondary egress with couches, bookcases, etc. You know, matter of minutes or seconds is really what it comes down to.
And with the holiday season coming up, what are some of your warnings to families?
Well, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, grease fires, kitchen fires. In general, the majority of people do not clean their ovens as well and as frequently as they should. So you get that general buildup of grease. Now you have a turkey in there, or ham, which is pretty greasy. Smell a little bit, and you end up with a grease fire. One other thing, it's the, yeah, I'll do that too. It's also stressing the importance of closing the doors, shutting doors. Whether you're egressing out, escaping out of the building, close the doors behind you. It blocks the airflow and the spread of the fire. And also in the case of the 3rd floor occupant that was had you rescued out the window. She opened the door, but she didn't close it again. That allowed all that smoke to come in. She could have been completely protected for a decent length of time in that case.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Will you plug our Toys for Tots drive?
We also started with our annual Toys for Tots drive.
All right, good, might as well.
There you go.
While you're here.
It's a half
Go
hour
on.
news show.
Yeah, I know.